What
It's
is love?
Sapper,
Baby,
it's
subscribe to
Sapper,
me.
Sapper the
Subscribe to
Sappy
me,
and who-
please.
You stupid.
No, I'm not.
What's 9 plus 10?
Isn't that like lesson 1? Ow!
You stupid.
So when I first watched this show, I was struggling. Don't get me wrong, it wasn't horrible, obviously, otherwise I would have stopped. But it was something I was just watching to make a video on, and at this point, I would have rather watched something else. But something happened in season 2. Something kind of incredible. I don't know what kind of mad genius wrote this shit up, but good lord is it amazing. What I'm talking about is the introduction to possibly the greatest character I have ever had the pleasure of witnessing in any cartoon.
Someone I thought I had defeated long ago has returned. His name is Discord.
Discord is the best character and villain this show has, and every second he is on screen, there's no telling what can happen. I think the best way to describe him is just to explain this episode, honestly. Before the intro, we get a scene where a school teacher is explaining what this statue represents. She says it's of something called a Draconequus, which is a being that represents discord or disharmony or something. Then they leave. After that, weird shit immediately starts happening. Cotton candy clouds are raining chocolate milk, Applejack's cornfields are popping, and the animals get freaking weird, dude. Everyone freaks out when Twilight can't fix it, and Celestia calls them to her castle. She explains that Discord has escaped and that he was the previous ruler of Equestria and put the population under a rule of pure chaos, misery, and disharmony until the princesses turned him to stone with the elements of harmony. She then tasks them with putting him back in his place since they now represent the elements.
I have total confidence that you will be able to defeat Discord with these.
Oh well, if anyone needs me, I'll be outside in the chocolate petals with a giant swizzle straw.
So basically the dude has taken them from behind a vault door and decides to sort of emerge and taunt them for no other reason than to mess with them.
This doesn't make sense.
Makes sense? Oh, what fun is there in making sense?
Discord, show yourself!
Did you miss me, Celestia? I've missed you. It's quite lovely being encased in stone, but you wouldn't know that, would you? Because I don't turn ponies into stone.
Oh, I love him. He spares no time having fun and just mocking everyone except for Pinkie Pie for some reason.
He's standing on your head!
Celestia then threatens him with a smack on the bum, then he decides to tell them where the elements are in a riddle because keeping it a secret isn't fun enough for him.
To retrieve your missing elements, just make sense of this change of events. Twists and turns are my master plan. Then find the elements back where you began.
Can we go home now?
They take this as a hint that the elements are in the hedge maze and go to meet him there. Then their literal body parts start disappearing, which I have actually had nightmares about, legitimately.
I'll just do a quick flyover and we'll have the elements in no time. My wings! Your horn! My horn!
You should see the looks on your faces. Priceless.
これは私の夫です。私は彼を愛しています。
He then tells them to play his game, which involves no flying or magic, and if someone leaves the maze, he wins. And any normal villain would separate them one by one over time, but he just does that immediately. The rest of the episode is him trying to corrupt each character to transform them into exaggerated opposites of themselves, and have fun doing it, I guess. Now, the reason I think Discord is the best character of all time is actually multiple reasons. Firstly, his motives for everything he does is just to have fun and mess with people. He couldn't give a crap about fame or riches or power, he just wants to sit back and have a goofy ass time. Secondly, his dialogue is always brilliant, presenting constant snark and absolutely no inhibitions whatsoever.
Welcome to your lucky day, Rarity. You found the one thing in Equestria that could rival my face for sheer beauty.
Lastly, and this is the best part about him, he is a being of pure chaos. This means the animators have been given complete freedom in portraying him in any way they want, completely ignoring all laws of cohesion.
Pinkie Pie, I thought you appreciated a good laugh.
It's different. They're laughing at me.
It's hardly different. Your friends laugh at you all the time.
He's an absolute trip, and anything involving him is just downright entertaining. So throughout this maze, he goes around messing with the ponies and corrupts them to be opposites. Although my favorite is when he can't instill doubt in Fluttershy and just gets pissed off.
Well, it must be so upsetting to know how weak and helpless they think you are.
Not at all. I am weak and helpless, and I appreciate their understanding.
Yes, well, surely it burns you up. I mean, they're always pointing out your flaws, right?
Not really. In fact, I think I'm awfully lucky to have friends who want me to be the best I can be.
Oh, for goodness sake! You've been kind for far too long, my dear. Time to be cruel. Arrivederci!
Calm down, dude. When he corrupts Rainbow Dash, he gives her wings back and she flies away from the maze because she now represents disloyalty, which makes Discord the winner in a game he completely made up for kicks. The maze disappears and reveals that the elements of harmony weren't even in the maze in the first place. Good lord, did nobody even think to check if he was bullshitting? Couldn't Celestia or someone figure that out?
Looks like we might be due for a big old storm of chaos.
By now, all the ponies, except Twilight, have been corrupted and Discord is yucking it up.
Girls, why are you all acting like this? We need to stick together.
It's just too entertaining.
Without the elements, they now head back to Ponyville to search there, and Discord has already begun his unruly transformation.
Discord's turned our dirt roads into salt.
Beautiful, isn't it? This is the new and improved Ponyville, and these are only my first changes.
This may look like fun, but it's not.
A lot of the fun here is not just Discord, but also the way every corrupted character behaves, especially Rarity, who believes this giant boulder is actually a diamond.
Forget it, Twilight. I know what you're up to. The second I go in, you'll have your little minion Spike come and take Tom. Tom? Well, it's not going to work.
And it's also fun to watch Twilight, a person who isn't even corrupted yet, become completely pissed off, trying desperately to get the elements while shepherding these 5 assholes.
We've got to find the reference guide to the elements of harmony before some pony does something she'll regret. Necklace, 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 and big crown thingy. Now let's go defeat Discord so we don't ever have to talk to each other again. Move! Look out! Here comes Tom!
Twilight tries to use the elements while everyone's being a collective bitch, and Discord doesn't even give a shit.
I'm prepared to be defeated now, ladies. Fire when ready.
They are obviously unsuccessful, and Twilight becomes a sad sack, declaring Discord the victor. Twilight goes back home all sad and finds Spike has been receiving a shitload of letters from Celestia, which are all the friendship lessons Twilight learned. She remembers they're all friends and then gets out of her rut and proceeds to use magic bullshittery to do the same for the others, making them normal again. Once they've all touched Twilight's delicious horn, they go back to Discord, who is having way too much fun.
Chaos is a wonderful, wonderful thing.
Not as wonderful as friendship.
Oh, this again.
Even when they become an actual threat, he just doesn't care. He just wants to enjoy himself in his own little bubble of chaos. It's brilliant.
I'll tell you what we've learned, Discord. We've learned that friendship isn't always easy, but there's no doubt it's worth fighting for.
Ugh, gag. Fine, go ahead. Try and use your little elements, frenemies. Just make it quick. I'm missing some excellent chaos here.
They end up successfully turning Discord into stone, Celestia gives them praise, and I become a sad, sad boy because if Discord is encased in stone, that means I don't get to bask in his greatness. Season opening over. Now, after watching that episode, my opinion on the show changed drastically, and it was clear the writers had big plans for the series and the world building. When you compare this to the Nightmare Moon pilot, there was no comparison. The stakes were high, the villain was stronger, and in fact almost succeeded, and if it wasn't for the Hail Mary attempt from Princess Celestia, then Discord would have won. By the time I was in the middle of season 2, I stopped watching it for the sake of the video and just started enjoying it and watching it for fun, and the best way I can describe why is this. My usual Netflix content is all pretty intense, so if my usual content is equivalent to, let's say, a competitive game of outdoor sport, My Little Pony would be the equivalent of a game of single-player Minecraft on a cold, rainy night in bed with the only light being the monitor. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you obviously haven't lived.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they...
So this episode had me convinced that Twilight Sparkle is the exact same character as Amy Santiago from Brooklyn Nine-Nine if Amy's character was written competently. FBI, open up! I'm kidding, Amy Santiago is obviously a serviceable character, but she does bring forth the most unfunny humor to the show.
He said he'll point him out to us, so you approach on foot from the south, and me and Devin will be in an unmarked car here.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Me and Devin? Didn't you mean Devin and I?
Oh, God.
I corrected your grammar. Are you so proud of me? Are you horrified? Are you super horny?
This isn't supposed to be an insult to Amy, but more of a praise to Twilight Sparkle. When you have a character who has a lot of humor centered around a certain quirk of their personality, this case being uber punctual academics with a fetish for organization, you have to treat it very carefully so that these characters don't become annoying pieces of garbage. The first big thing My Little Pony does right with this is the fact that Twilight's excitement for things like big libraries or super organized schedules is generally subdued and doesn't happen that often, whereas Amy Santiago will literally become moist when someone says the word binder.
Plus, there's this big fat binder full of instructions and rules.
There's a binder? Why didn't you lead with that, you idiot?
I'm gonna just leave you two alone.
Wow. That was so funny, I forgot to stop my eyes from rolling. How about that? This episode is about Twilight being late to learn and submit a friendship lesson to Celestia and shows the results of her freaking out about it.
And today is...
Tuesday?
Ah! No. If I don't send her a letter by sundown, I'll be... tardy!
What's that now?
Now on the surface it seems dumb for her to be so anxious about it, but her thought train makes some sense. Her mind starts going down the path of increasingly terrifying scenarios, ultimately settling on the worst possible case, which is eerily similar to how an anxious person, such as myself, thinks.
He's my teacher. Do you know what teachers do to students who don't pass? They send them back a grade! But she won't just send me back a grade. She'll send me back to... magic kindergarten.
She decides to go around town looking for a friendship problem to solve with no success, increasingly getting more stressed as the day goes on and drastically more desperate. This causes her to make all kinds of stupid decisions and ultimately misses the point of the lessons, seeing her friends' problems as a tool instead of something that needs attention.
Of all the worst things that could happen, this is the worst of things!
With no luck, she eventually loses her mind from stress by the end and decides if she can't find a problem to solve, she can make one instead.
Hi, girls!
Jesus! Jesus Christ! She uses magic to force a shitload of people to fight over a doll and realizes she messed up. Then Celestia comes down about as pissed as a toilet seat.
Twilight Sparkle. Willy-nilly.
She scolds Twilight and the others come in defending her, saying they should have helped her calm down instead of ignoring her earlier. Celestia says they can all send her sappy letters now and the episode ends. What? It was honestly super refreshing to see a cartoony personality quirk make some actual sense for the character. It's not that far-fetched either. I'm someone with many anxiety-related issues, and I personally found this about as natural as a kid's cartoon can be. It helps understand Twilight as a character and where her biggest fears lie. It was also quite an entertaining episode, and the humor never devolved into heh funny girl like book it make her horny.
Hello, MTV Cribs. This is my shower because I'm one big dirty bitch.
So Zane, I hear you not asking, does this show have holiday episodes that make you want to blow your brains out where they celebrate Christmas, Thanksgiving and the like? Well, the answer is sort of. First of all, they make it clear that this is not Earth, meaning they celebrate custom copies of these holidays, including Hearth's Warming, replacing Christmas, Hearts and Hooves Day to replace Valentine's, and in this episode, Nightmare Night replaces Halloween. Also, I can only really think of a few of these holiday episodes that made me want to help my eye socket get personally acquainted with a friendly chisel. This episode's main purpose is to give Princess Luna her first bit of actual development, which I think is vastly overdue. And check out that design! That's some tasty improvement.
Fluttershy? You remember Princess Luna?
Charmed.
Nightmare Night is celebrated very similar to Halloween, with the biggest difference being the theme around Nightmare Moon. The idea is that they wear costumes as disguises to hide from Nightmare Moon so she goes away. But the kicker is that this is the first celebration where Nightmare Moon no longer exists. She's now Princess Luna. Obviously Luna isn't okay with people still fearing her, so she comes down to befriend everyone in the most counterintuitive way possible.
Citizens of Ponyville, we have graced your tiny village with our presence so that you might behold the real Princess of the Night!
Aw, she's adorable.
Very well then, be that way. We won't even bother with the traditional royal farewell.
The episode plays out with her taking advice from Twilight on how to be likable. Good God, woman, don't do that. And the whole time I'm just finding her so cute. There's something so adorable about her wanting to be loved.
Twilight Sparkle has spoken of the sweetness of thy voice. We ask that thou teachest us to speak as thou speakest.
Okay.
Shall our lessons begin?
Okay.
Shall we mimic thy voice?
Okay.
How is this?
Perfect. Lesson over.
How is this?
Better, right, Fluttershy?
How about now?
It's like she's genuinely trying to adjust after being imprisoned, and I just want to reach in and give her a hug and say, it's alright, everyone loves you.
Fire away, Princess!
Ha-ha! The fun has been doubled!
When it comes to both princesses, I definitely like Luna more than Celestia, because Celestia comes across as way too high and mighty. I mean, for God's sake, she still takes the main throne. This is a team effort, you asshole. Give your sister the appreciation she deserves. Oh, look. It's the Big Lebowski. I don't know which one is supposed to be Lebowski. Because I haven't seen the movie.
Well, not exactly.
Not exactly, but am I not turtly enough for the Turtle Club?
I know I talked about episodes that made me laugh earlier, but this one's a special one because I'm convinced the stuff that I found funny in this were things I wasn't supposed to find funny. This one has an interesting concept. Rainbow Dash is jealous of everyone having a pet, so she decides to ask Fluttershy to round up the so-called coolest animals and make them compete for her love, which is definitely not out of character for her.
So, you all think you've got what it takes to be my pet, do ya? Well, we'll just see about that.
So you get this lineup of random animals, but Fluttershy feels bad that Rainbow Dash excluded the tortoise. And the parts that I found unintentionally hilarious is the way Rainbow Dash periodically makes fun of the poor thing, no matter how hard he tries.
Now you just pay attention and try your best and...
Seriously, Fluttershy, the turtle? What did you bring that thing here for?
Excuse you! I literally can't remember if anything intentionally funny happened in this episode because I was just finding her passive-aggressive comments so amusing.
That's just sad. Want to know the opposite of agility? That. You've had your fun, but I think you and I both know who made the cut and who didn't. You didn't.
There was even this bit near the end that was the cherry on top. The last event is a race, and Rainbow Dash gets stuck halfway, and none of the pets notice. However, because the tortoise is a slow boy, he sees her and tries to be a good little tortoise and helps her, but then...
Oh no! Now I'm not only gonna be stuck here forever, I'm gonna be stuck here forever with the most annoying turtle in the world!
I still find that funny. She picks him at the end because he was the only one who cared enough about her to help. She names him Tank, and he has a magical propeller to keep him airborne. The end.
Wake up, everyone! It's Christmas!
This is the show's first attempt at writing in-depth lore, and it is a Christmas episode no less. When I say lore, I don't mean like Princess Celestia and Nightmare Moon, I'm talking like the actual history of the ponies and their civilization before Celestia's rule. Yeah. This episode wasn't horrible, it was sort of entertaining, but the most noteworthy thing about it is the story they tell, which they cleverly present as a play hosted by the main 6 characters. On the off chance you're interested, I'll explain, but I'll do it fast because I don't give a shit. You ready? Pay attention, okay? Before the time of the princesses, the population of Equestria was split up into the 3 natural races, Pegasi, unicorns, and earth ponies. The Pegasi controlled the weather, and the unicorns controlled the sun and the moon, but demanded the earth ponies pay them with their superior crops. An endless blizzard then brought complications for their survival, leading them to meet with their respective leaders in order to solve the blizzard issue. The unicorns send Princess Platinum, the Pegasi send Commander Hurricane, and the earth ponies send Chancellor Puddinghead. The 3 leaders can't get along, so they go home and complain, then each one individually decides on finding new inhabitable land. You still following me here? Okay.
They all leave to find new land to live on, but they all accidentally claim the same land. The blizzard then manages to follow them, and they all take shelter in a nearby cave. Naturally, they have a fight, and the freak blizzard covers the cave entrance with ice, and the leaders of each tribe themselves. This only leaves the assistants of each leader to notice the blizzard is being caused by Wendigos, not Wendigos, Wendigos, which are spirits that feed off disharmony. The assistants declare they hate their masters for their behavior and share their sympathies with each other, which is powerful enough to get rid of the Wendigos. The leaders in cave entrance thaw, so they leave and declare to live in harmony after witnessing their own mortality. Then the episode ends.
And I'd like to say to all those who never believed in the power of the handicap, there's a new sheriff in town.
Here's a fun little factoid for you. This episode was the first time a secretly recurring pony, simply known as Derpy Hooves, had her first speaking role. What the hell does that mean and why does it matter? Allow me to tell you. Derpy Hooves is this character, a grey Pegasus with blonde hair and crossed eyes. Apparently this character was born from a joke from the animators who intentionally crossed her eyes to be funny, but then the director noticed and decided to keep her in like that. Since then, the animators decided to insert her as an Easter egg in every episode, making it the world's longest game of Find the Doofus. This episode was the first time she actually had a role in the script, but there was a major problem. Apparently the initial recorded voice was a bit too for some parents, so they re-recorded all of her lines to be more feminine.
I just don't know what went wrong. I just don't know what went wrong. Nice work, Rainbow Dash. Nice work, Rainbow Dash. You okay, Rainbow Dash? Anything I can do to help? You okay, Rainbow Dash? Anything I can do to help?
I personally prefer the new feminine voice because I like the idea that she's not really stupid, just clumsy, but that's just me. Anyway, this episode kinda stinks. It's an Applejack episode, and Applejack episodes kinda stink. But there was one thing I did find interesting, and that is the first time we see Pinkie Pie truly angry with someone. Granted, you do see Pinkie Pie in a bad state before this, but she never gets this furious at one of her friends. So the gist of it is Applejack moves out of Ponyville and won't tell the gang why, so they chase her to find out. Late in the episode, Pinkie Pie demands a promise.
Can it wait till tomorrow at breakfast? I'm plumb tuckered out. Tomorrow, huh?
I don't know. Do you pinky promise?
I will tell you the whole truth at breakfast. Pinky promise.
Don't worry, Rainbow. She's gotta fess up after making a pinky promise. Good morning, Applejack. You ready for breakfast? No pony breaks a pinky promise!
Pinkie Pie was a person who was always happy and loving to her friends regardless of how they treated her, so to see her this mad was super refreshing. That's kind of it, honestly. The only other thing I liked about this episode is this one random moment where Rarity eats shit.
Well, I heard a sorry in there, so that'll have to do for now. I'll get a real apology later. Rarity catches what? Okay.
New crispy pretzel chicken fries at Burger King. Crispy, crunchy pretzel outside. Tender.
It is the job of a show made for children to teach their audience basic human values, and My Little Pony is no exception. If you couldn't feel it bashing you over the head by now, the general theme for this show is the value of friendships and relationships. However, there are plenty of times where they take on other subjects. Take the new villains in episode 15, for example. Their names are Flim and Flam, and they represent the most realistic evil in our world. Capitalism.
Well, you've got opportunity in this very community. He's Flam, we're the world famous Flim Flam Brothers. Travel and sales, parties on ballet.
They're greedy, soulless, and tackier than a vision board. Just like real life. These two are a great way to teach kids about scummy business practices and what greed can do to people. Each one of their episodes is about them trying a new scam or scummy business, and at times it can look horrifyingly familiar. I'll get to each one when I get there because the places this show goes with them is fascinating, but I'll quickly mention their first venture. Sweet Apple Acres sells apple cider to Ponyville but doesn't have enough supply to meet demand. Then Flim and Flam miraculously show up with a machine that produces cider at an exponentially higher rate with no drop in quality called the Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000. I want to throw up. They tell the Apple family that if they don't accept their 3-to-1 split of their business, they will directly compete with them. The Apple family makes a bet with them to make more cider in a certain time, and whoever wins gets 100% of the business. Children, don't do that, okay? When Flim and Flam get overconfident, they start losing, and speed it up by eliminating the quality control process and end up winning, but whoopsie, everyone's like, hey man, there's cider in my leaves, and Flim and Flam skip town to find other suckers. In my opinion, this kind of stuff is extremely important to teach kids, so they can learn how to create a respectable business, or remain skeptical and aware of bad or scummy business practices, such as Nestle and their practice of existing.
The tart tanginess of the mascarpone blended perfectly with the smooth, silky sweetness of the meringue. That's why I call the marzipan mascarpone meringue madness the
I'm sweating like a hooker in church.
You brought a hooker to church?
Why not?
I honestly thought I could skip talking about this one when I first saw it, but it's actually the beginning to a surprisingly long story arc. Rainbow Dash is hospitalized for dumb idiot disease, which I am very familiar with. She has nothing to do while she waits for her remaining IQ points to come back, so Twilight visits her and gives her the first book in a series called Daring Do. This is an adventure series similar to things like Tomb Raider, Indiana Jones, and Uncharted.
What a gamer.
The point the episode is trying to make is that reading is pretty cool, which I agree with at least, but I also found one aspect of it kind of funny.
No thanks. I so don't read. I'm a world-class athlete. Reading's for eggheads like you, Twilight. No offense, but I am not reading. It's undeniably, unquestionably uncool. Is she serious?
I've never seen a case where a character says reading isn't cool, then everyone laughs at them for it, and I think it's a great way to present this idea. There will always be the trend among kids that says reading is lame, so by showing them a situation where the person saying that is the uncool one, you can really give those kids a kick in the pants. Rainbow Dash ends up enjoying the story because it's a character she identifies with and admits that she likes reading, but the important thing to remember is the Daring Do book itself. Not much else to say here. I'm not a fan of adventure books personally. I much prefer Sonic the Hedgehog unbirthing erotica, so this episode was hard to relate to.
Oh my god, why am I driving like a fucking idiot?
This is by far the best and most entertaining episode of the season, and it reminded me of why I love watching children's cartoons in the first place. It was a creative episode and a whole lot of fun. It makes me kind of jealous, honestly. Like, I feel like I could never write something this fun, but I'm too busy making garbage for a YouTube channel nobody watches, so I have it made. So in this one, Twilight is going about her usual business until the Terminator arrives.
What's going on?
Twilight comes from the future, bearing a message, and she's all messed up, looking like she's fresh out of the mosh pit at a Metallica concert. But this is all too exciting for present Twilight, and she messes shit up like you would expect.
Twilight, you've got to listen to me. Who are you? I mean, you're me, but I'm me too. How can there be two me's? It's not scientifically possible. You are not scientifically possible. Please, I don't have much time. Is there some sort of epic pony war in the distant future or something? Actually, I'm from next Tuesday morning. But that's not important right now. I can't believe time travel is really possible. How did you, I figure it out. Now you have to listen to, is time travel fun or does it hurt? I have so many questions. I have something extremely important to tell you about the future, and I only have a few seconds, so you've got to listen. Whatever you do,
You stupid, stupid, stupid idiot. I could only imagine how scary that situation in real life would be. Like, picture yourself sitting down and like eating lunch, and you from the future comes down looking like they're straight out of Mad Max and tells you not to eat lunch ever again. You wouldn't even look at a cafe for the rest of your life. So naturally, someone as anxious as Twilight would be shitting themselves, and that's exactly what happens. She goes to town and tells them what happened, then instructs everyone to disaster-proof, like, everything. Oh. Woo! When she's done, she comes back inside to pat herself on the back for a job well done, but Spike gets a letter.
Well, at least it's coming out of the attic, not the basement.
Twilight now has the same paper cut on her cheek because Spike can't cover his mouth, meaning the future hasn't been changed. The threat of inevitable disaster is making Twilight more stressed than ever. Since she can't think of anything else she can do to prevent disaster, she thinks it's something she shouldn't be doing and promptly plans to do absolutely nothing until Tuesday. Spike, being the shitty opportunist he is, takes this as a chance to annoy her with Rainbow I'm a douchebag dash.
Oh, this is too rich. Hey, Twilight, there's a mouse right behind you. Wait, let me try. Oh, no!
Listen, darling, I'd say your hair looks like a bird's nest, but even twigs have less split ends. Twilight is now 2 out of 5, so she goes to Madam Pinky to see if she can tell the future, but a pot falls from the ether and she's 3 out of 5. The last thing she can think of is to monitor as many disaster points as possible for anything suspicious, but accidentally gets a magnified eyeful of the sun, making her 4 out of 5. After trying everything, she realizes she's completely out of options.
If Tuesday's tomorrow and the disaster happens by Tuesday morning, then there's only one solution. I'll just have to stop time.
So she dresses up in number 5 to sneak into the Canterlot archives to find the spell, even though she has access to it at any time as the princess's protege. She doesn't end up finding anything in time, then braces herself for the disaster. But nothing happens.
You did it. Good job. I can't believe it. I'm proud of you.
Since nothing happened, the idiot decides, I'm going to find the spell anyway and tell myself not to worry about the future. So she goes back in time and starts the cycle over again and finally realizes how stupid she is, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.
Hey, stepbro.
This is the first time we get a decent season finale and a new villain, which I like, so you better enjoy this segment or I'm quitting. Twilight and her friends get invitations to a wedding at Canterlot between someone named Princess Mi Amore Cadenza and someone named Shining Armor, who is Twilight's brother? Oh. Yep. That's her brother, all right. She's mad that she never even knew the person her brother is marrying and takes some time to reminisce.
When I was just a filly, I found it rather silly to see how many other ponies I could meet. I had my books to read, didn't know that I would ever need other ponies.
my big brother.
Look at this douchebag. They all go to Canterlot, past a magical security barrier, and Twilight's about to beat some ass, so she runs ahead to meet Shining Armor.
Twily!
Ew, look at him. He has an actual tumor for an actual eyeball. Christ, put him down. So she gives him a gobful, saying, "How the hell could you not tell me you were marrying a bowl of pasta? I don't even know her." And he's like, "Yes, you do, you stupid Parmesan. Mi amore cadenza is the fancy name for your old babysitter, Cadence." And she's like, "Oh yeah." Then remembers her from her childhood and a whole bunch of other shit.
I'm just a regular old unicorn.
You are anything but a regular old unicorn.
Sunshine, sunshine, ladybugs awake. Clap your hooves and do a little shake.
Okay, now I'm really gonna throw. Out comes Princess Cadence, and she's being a bit of a poopy head.
I hope I'm not interrupting anything important.
I like her colors a lot. It reminds me of Baskin Robbins.
Oh boy, I really hope nobody does anything cringy. I'm terrified of cringy things.
Sunshine, sunshine, ladybugs awake. Clap your hooves and do a little shake.
When Twilight stops presenting her ask for penetration, she realizes Cadence might indeed be a poopy head as mentioned earlier, and decides to investigate who shat in her breakfast.
Oh, shucks. Why don't you take a few to go?
Twilight bitches about her to her friends, and they're like, "Think maybe you're being just a tiny bit possessive of your brother?" Then Twilight says, "You all smell," and runs off. Later, she sees Shining Armor get a headache, and Cadence does some suspicious green stuff. Then moments before the wedding rehearsal, Twilight discovers the bridesmaids have disappeared and her friends have replaced them, which is also suspicious green stuff. Twilight interrupts the wedding rehearsal and tries to call out Cadence as evil, which is admittedly pretty funny.
Why are you doing this to me?
Because you're evil. Evil.
Then Shining Armor's like, "You're dumb Gorgonzola." He then angrily explains why Cadence is behaving weirdly and tells her to leave. Everyone's like, "Twilight's the poopy head now," and they leave too. But then Baskin Robbins comes back.
I'm sorry. You will be.
Oh. I see how it is. So, in part 2, Twilight has been transported to the caves underneath Canterlot. And Cadence tells her that she ruined her plans, and that she'll stay there forever or sometime along that length.
Most ponies have forgotten that these caves even exist, which is why they are the ideal place to keep the ones who try to interfere with my plans.
I know you guys are on the edge of your seat. Don't lie to me, okay? So, Twilight starts shooting stuff from her horn and finds Cadence behind one of the walls. Cadence is like, "It's the real me." Then Twilight's like, "Prove it." And she does the baby dance. Then has the most awkward smile I've ever seen. And then they reconnect and try to leave while the evil Cadence sings a song about having shining armor all to herself. So these two get on a minecart and this immediately pisses me off. Like, if your underground caves are so impenetrable, then how did someone get a minecart down there in the first place? Also, hasn't Twilight learned the spell for teleportation? She's literally done it multiple times for trivial things. Why doesn't she just do that now with Cadance? Anyway, they escape extremely easily and go to the wedding, and Rainbow Dash is looking adorable with her hair tied up like that. Then the real Cadance comes in to call her out on her shitty attempts at containing 2 unicorns in an unsecure cave. Then the evil one reveals herself to be something called a changeling. Ooh, I love the changelings. They have similar anatomy to the ponies, but are designed off of bugs, and they look so good. A changeling in this universe is a being that can obviously shapeshift, and their evil power thing is that they feed off of love, which is why Chrysalis, the queen of the hive, is trying to marry Shining Armor so that she can feed off his royal love forever. So Chrysalis is like, my changelings are about to bust through the security barrier. But then Celestia comes in and she's once again more pissed than a toilet seat.
You may have made it impossible for Shining Armor to perform his spell, but now that you have so foolishly revealed your true self, I can protect my subjects from you!
Jesus fucking Christ! Fucking dead!
Mamma mia, what a piece of ass to lose!
No, my weedy shit!
The elements of harmony. You must get to them and use their power to defeat the Queen.
They're all like, okay, and run off, and then we come up to my favorite scene of the episode, when the group are overwhelmed by changelings.
Looks like we're gonna have to do this the hard way. How did They're changelings, remember? They're changelings, remember?
Ooh, that's cool. Then there's a fight scene with all of them, which I wish went on for longer because it was fun to watch. Since they all look like each other, there was no way to tell who was real at any given moment.
Okay, this is just getting weird.
Also, Pinkie Pie uses Twilight as a machine gun. They get overwhelmed and captured, then brought back to Chrysalis, but then moments after, the episode just sort of gets resolved in a big anti-climax. Chrysalis is like, huzzah, I control everything now, and Cadance gets freed by Twilight. She goes to Shining Armor, and the power of their love causes a big purging explosion of cheesiness, and everything's all good, making this ending more unsatisfying than missing the first note in a song on Guitar Hero. They finally hold the wedding, then they party.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
Save the dance number for the movie, fellas. That's the end of season 2. Congratulations, everyone. I'm so proud of all of you for enduring my bullshit for this long, but strap in, we got a long way to go. Now, the reason I think Discord is the best character of all time is actually Fuck, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up. Oh my god.